Most students lose points in the IELTS exam not because they have poor English, but only because they don't have a clear strategy. Let me show you what that looks like. Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Bruno Gallo. I'm the founder of Unique University Experience, and I help thousands of students to study abroad each year and successfully pass the IELTS exam. Today, I'm here to talk to you about one of the most common mistakes that students make in the writing section of the IELTS exam, which is understanding the visual input. But before we start, I would like you to subscribe to our channel and click the notification button so you're not going to miss any of the lessons on the IELTS series. And if you want to go any further, you can tap the link below and join our IELTS Success Workshop. Here, we will reveal all of the hidden tips and advices to successfully pass the IELTS exam and hit that band 7+ that you deserve. Okay, now we can start. So today we're here to talk about one of the most common mistakes that students make in the writing section of the IELTS, which is understanding the visual input. Now, the visual input is extremely important to understand and interpret, especially in the task 1 of the IELTS essay. Here, you will be coming across different types of visual, could be graph, tables, bar charts, etc. And you want to make sure you understand the meaning and you understand what the IELTS essay question is about. So, in the task 1 of the writing, you will find different types of visual inputs: bar charts, pie charts, line graphs, or even tables. You will need to be able to differentiate and understand the different type of visual and understand the units and the legend behind each one of them. You don't want to make silly mistakes, for instance, misunderstanding the units and exchanging minutes per hours or days. This is something very important, and you want to make sure you nail it at this stage. Now, this is true about task 1 and the visual inputs, but it can also be referred to the task 2. This is very important that you understand the question that you are facing in task 2. Sometimes a student exchange and misunderstand the meaning. They might start talking about education in general, whilst the question is about technology in education. So you really want to focus exactly on what the question is about and not start talking about tangential information or information that are not relevant to the question itself. Okay, so when we're talking about understanding the visual input, the most important thing that you have to do is to summarize the key points of the visual itself. Some visuals will have a lot of information. Tables, line graphs, bar charts are full of data, numbers, and figures. It is very important that you select the most important ones and then you collect the message and you put it together in the text to make sure that the message that comes across, it's the most important and relevant to the essay itself. Most students tend to insert all of the possible information and data that they see in the graph or in the bar chart or in general in the visual, and tend overloading the text with information which are not relevant. You really want to learn this skill to select and summarize only the key information. Once you've done this, you can add on extra information to reinforce your statements and make sure you nail the IELTS section here. But summarizing, it's really the key point at this stage. In our IELTS preparation courses, we have a dedicated section that will teach you how to summarize and what are the key points that you want to select in each visual to make sure that you come across with the best possible message for the examiner and then get that band 7+ for your writing. Other students make the mistake of trying to describe every single number in the graph that they see rather than showing and presenting the key trends in the graph. Or perhaps other students make the mistake of misinterpreting or misunderstanding percentages instead of quantities. So you really want to make sure that you nail these bits and pieces. Otherwise, your band score will go down. Now, when we're talking about understanding the visual, one very important aspect that you want to consider is interpreting the visual itself, which is something different from understanding. When you are interpreting something, you are taking it a step further. You're moving from band 6 to 7, 7.5, and even 8. This is something that we really want to focus on. Most of the times, students will remain on the first surface layer of understanding the visual, and we want to go deeper here. We want to go where the information is to be revealed to the examiner to really show that you understood what the visual is talking about rather than simply spitting out numbers and names or labels that appear on the visual itself. In fact, interpreting the visual, it's probably one of the most difficult skills throughout the whole exam. This is something that if you can really put together with your own words, will boost your level, will boost your band score. Okay, let's take an example. Sometimes you could come across a visual which is showing a city before and after something has happened. You know, same city in 1960 and the same city in the 2000s. The first city is very rural with only showing some housing. The other city is showing many industrial areas with new shops and new developments. So what you really want to show to the examiner here is that you understood what is going on in this visual. You want to say to the examiner that the city has gone through an industrialization. So it's going through an industrial development. Yeah, this is not written anywhere in the text. It's not written anywhere in the essay. You cannot see industrialization written anywhere on the visual. But if you manage to put together this information into the text in your essay, you will get a lot of points. Examiners love to see that you fully understood the visual, and if you can put this into your own words into the essay, boom, you get a lot of points. So this is very, very important. Okay, guys, so this was my last piece of advice for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and you've learned something, and it will really help you in your IELTS preparation course. If you want to follow more content about preparing for the IELTS with us, remember to subscribe to the channel, and you can also follow us on social media accounts. Hope to see you very soon.